Good morning friends, welcome to the first teleconferencing session of the School of Agriculture. At the outset, I wish all of you happy Basant Panchami and we seek the blessing of Lord Saraswati to all of us. I welcome to the first teleconferencing session of the session, and we are starting with the introduction to diploma in meat technology. We have structured our two sessions in 3 to 4 parts. I'll be discussing general about the School of Agriculture, then also give information about food processing, and then my colleague Dr. Meeta Sinha Mahapatro will be telling you about the meat technology program. She is the coordinator for the meat technology program, and then in the next session we'll be giving you the more detail about the complete program. So first I will start with the School of Agriculture. Many of you may be aware that the School of Agriculture came into existence in 2005 with the objectives to widen the educational opportunities in the agriculture sector. We know that agriculture is important to our country, but somehow the educational opportunities have not grown up as the agriculture sector has grown up. We know about the Green Revolution, we know about the White Revolution and many other such revolutions. But as far as the educational sector has grown in the agriculture area, it has been slightly neglected lot. So the IGNOU, under the leadership of Professor Dikshit, ex-Vice Chancellor, and Professor Punjab Singh, now the Vice Chancellor at BHU, set up the School of Agriculture. The objectives are to widen the educational opportunities in agriculture with focus on the rural masses, disadvantaged groups and the disadvantaged areas. Then the other objective is to enhance the job potential of agriculture human resource. In the present scenario, it is the money, it is the income which counts. So we want that the job potential of the rural youth, urban youth through agriculture should be enhanced. And then to support the agriculture education system through ODL. If you have a quick glance of the agriculture education system in the country, there are courses at the higher tertiary level, BSc Agriculture, BSc Meat Technology, BSc Dairy Technology, BVSc, and even MSc in various disciplines. But at the technician level, at the school level, the agriculture has not been given much focus. So the School of Agriculture at the IGNOU will be strengthening the agriculture education system in the country through ODL media. Now, what are the main functions within the framework of IGNOU? We develop different type of educational programs for different target groups. That includes the farmers, rural youth, the working people, the technicians, all range of the people. For scientists, we aim to develop different educational programs. We do also want to develop the competency and performance standards for agriculture occupations. This is particularly in our agriculture sector, a large number of people are under the non-formal sector. This type of the program certification mechanism where the competencies of the non-formal people are recognized and they are linked with the formal system, that is the second function we will be taking and we are going to start. Application of ICT for improving the outreach of the programs so that it could reach to the farmers, and then even the forward and backward linkages for starting their own entrepreneurial programs should be set up. And then the linkages with the various agencies. with the government, with NGOs, universities, vocational institutions and industries. These are the main functions of the framework of the IGNOU we are working. The academic structure of the school, there are 6 disciplines are there: agriculture production system and management, livestock production system and management, products technology and value addition, agriculture business management, natural resource management, and extension and community development. These are the 6 disciplines within the School of Agriculture. And we have set up the linkages with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Central Silk Board, Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, and ICR. Even international collaborations are also there with Global Open Food and Agriculture University and International Network for Bamboo and Rattan. The School of Agriculture thought that the programs will be starting with some ministries or some industries where the demand exists, so that the programs in the agriculture and these areas are need based. We submitted the proposals to different ministries and they are supporting our programs. Ministry of Food Processing Industries is supporting 5 programs. Ministry of Agriculture is supporting 1 program. Ministry of Rural Development is supporting the 1 program. And Central Silk Board is also supporting 3 programs. APIDA, Agriculture Processed Food Product and Export Development Authority, is also supporting 3 programs. The objective behind the collaboration is, it is value addition to them, so that we develop the human resource for them and we get the feedback that the program should be need based or there should be some people to take the programs. So the School of Agriculture has started the program with the collaborations with the different ministries and agencies. And the focus is to develop human resource development in the different areas. As I mentioned earlier, if you review the things, agriculture education system, pedagogy or programs does not exist for the farmers and small entrepreneurs, skill upgradation of workers and particularly of our farmers, development of technicians at different level, continuing education program for technical and management persons and in emerging vocations. These type of programs does not exist. To give you the example, it has been proved that if you give the scientific knowledge to the farmers, the productivity could be enhanced by 25 to 30%. Similarly, the skill development of the technicians working in the factories, working in the farm, could be also increased. If you see the sector, health sector or the engineering sector, manufacturing sector, where the technician level people are there the growth is very good. But in agriculture, there is no technician level manpower, is not existing, and there are no system also which is preparing the technician level or middle level skilled workers or entrepreneurs are not there. To give you very concrete example, polytechnics doesn't exist in the agriculture system. With this background we started. So what type of program to strengthen the human resource development? The School of Agriculture is developing a range of the programs. The first program is awareness program. Awareness program is for the farmers, so that we give them the input, scientific input and the good practices, and could improve the quality and the productivity at the farm level. The second type of programs are vocational and entrepreneurial program. These programs are meant for the rural youth, urban youth, so that they can be, instead of going for the higher degrees and not getting their jobs, they could go for the self-employment and they could adopt some of the vocations. Then the third type of programs are customized package for the technicians, for plant managers, entrepreneurs, quality control technicians, and the fourth is the PG program and continuing education program. So this is the range of the programs the School of Agriculture is started. At present, School of Agriculture is offering the 4 programs. Awareness program on dairy farming for rural dairy farmers. This program is running in the Rajasthan and Bihar. This program has been supported by the Ministry of Rural Development, and where we give the training to the dairy farmers, that how to improve the farm practices, dairy farm practices, for clean milk production, for all the problems at the farm level, taking care of the animals. So those aspects have been covered, and it is a 2 months awareness program for the farmers. The second program is Diploma in Value Added Products from Fruits and Vegetables. This year is the second session for the programs. Last year we started with only the English language. This year the program has been offered in English and Hindi languages. The other two programs which we started from this session are Diploma in Dairy Technology and Diploma in Meat Technology. So today we are working on we'll be focusing on the Diploma in Meat Technology program. Now the other programs which are in the development are PG program in Agriculture Policy, Diploma in Watershed Management, then Awareness program in Value Added Products from Fruits and Vegetables, and Diploma in Value Added Product from Cereal Pulses and Oilseeds. So these are the programs which are under development. Similarly, like Certificate in Sericulture, Certificate in Bamboo Technologies and Enterprise Development, similarly Certificate in Rattan Use Technologies and Enterprise Development, then Awareness program on Good Agriculture Practices with our Center for Extension Education Department, Diploma in Value Added Fish Products, Diploma in Organic Farming, PG Diploma in Food Safety and Certification. These are the programs in the various stages of development. For some we have initiated the activity, and some are in advanced stage of the development are there. Now, how the delivery of the programs take place? Delivery takes place, we establish the study centers at the ICR institution, state agriculture universities, regional research stations, KVKs, and agriculture colleges and industrial units. These are the places we locate the study centers are there. Now, what does the School of Agriculture expect? Mainly it is human resource development at the various level, as I mentioned, entrepreneurship development in the agriculture, in horticulture, animal husbandry, fisheries, poultry, in all the disciplines of the agriculture. Multimedia and ICT support in the different agriculture allied sectors, and the utilization of natural and national and international resources in promoting agriculture education. So this is the outcome we are expecting. So with the school is only 3 years old school. We started in 2005. Now we are entering in the 2007, in the third year of the working. In short span, this is the development, and we have introduced the 4 programs. We will be discussing Diploma in Meat Technology later. Let us see first what is the processing level. In the food processing programs, what programs we have started, because meat technology is one of the program which has been started in the food processing area. When they say what is the food processing, the processing is it enhances shelf life and adds value to the product. We know that the food are living entity and they have short shelf life. When we process them, we increase their shelf life and we add value to their things. The other advantage with the processing is it minimizes pre and post harvest losses. We all know, and we have seen examples like potatoes were very cheap in the month of December, but at times the prices are very high also. Same with the fruits also, same with at the time of milk. Like we know from tomorrow the milk price is going to high by 1 rupee. So at a time when the production is very surplus, there are losses are there. There are examples at many states were draining their milk into the things because they were not able to process them. So this processing, it minimizes pre and post harvest losses because of the various reasons. Then handling problem of surpluses also, because of if the surpluses are there, sometimes prices are not good or wastage is there. It also helps in increasing the productivity and also supports the employment intensive, particularly at the rural level. So these are the advantages of the processing is there. Now the food processing industry is still in growing stage, and if you see it has been mentioned by all agriculture experts, the second agriculture revolution has to come from the processing industry. Our Honorable President is also focusing on this subject, that the processing has to be given more importance. At the present, the industry ranks 5th in size. It only has the 6.3% of the GDP, and the export is around 13%. Value addition is around 7% is the value addition, as compared to the other countries, like in China it is 23%, and in UK it is 88% is there. And to show you the example with how much level of processing is there in the different sector, and in fruit and vegetable it is only 1.8%, and milk and milk products 37%. In organized sector it is 15%, and in unorganized sector it is around 22%. So you can see only all the milk which you are getting is through 15% of is being handled by the organized sector. The meat processing means bulk meat deboning, including that also, it is only 21%. If you see the other processing, meat is very less, which my colleague Dr. Meeta will be sharing with you. Poultry processing is 6%, in fisheries 10.7%. So the level of processing is very less. That's why there is a lot of wastage. Pre-harvest and the post-harvest losses take place. Farmers don't get the good money returns, and there's wastage is there. The target which has been set by 2010, we want to almost triple the size of the food processing industry. The fruit and vegetable has to go around 4%. Milk and milk products from the 15 to 20%, and meat from 21 to 28%. Poultry from 6 to 10%. So total value addition from 7 to 10% is the target within the 2010. With this scope, once we are processing this much of things, naturally the manpower will be also required. If you see the manpower scenario at the present, the output of the people, particularly at higher level, ICR institutions are producing only around 2,000 students, and the total within is around 5,000 students, out of which food science is 3,000, dairy science is 2,000, 1,200, others are again 1,200. But at the technician level, no institution is producing any type of the people are being produced. So this data also show that particularly in food processing also, the pedagogy doesn't exist for the farmer, that how to preserve their foods, how to go for the good products, particularly in the competitive market, for the export potential, skill upgradation of the workers, and for the technicians, it is not there. Similarly, for the quality control people, like the new laws are coming. We are aware that the government has introduced a new Food Safety and Standard Bill 2006. Similarly, if you want to take ISO certification, HACCP certification, many of the quality control people or technicians are not aware. So for them also some continuing education programs have to be developed. And these are the 5 programs which has been supported to the School of Agriculture by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. These are fruit and vegetables diploma, and we have developed diploma program in value added product from fruit and vegetables, diploma program in dairy technology, diploma in meat technology, diploma in value added fish products, and diploma in cereal pulses and oil seeds. The diploma in 3 programs, diploma in fruit and vegetables, diploma in dairy technology, and diploma in meat technology have been started. So we will be discussing the details of meat technology. Sure. In all these programs, the focus is mainly on the post-harvest management, and the primary processing can be done at the rural level. What type of value addition is there, and particularly for entrepreneurship development, quality control aspects, and marketing. So the new features in these programs as compared to the traditional programs are entrepreneurship development, focus is on quality control, and on the marketing is also there. Now I will request my colleague Dr. Meeta to tell you about the diploma in meat technology in the detail. Dr. Meeta, please.
Thank you, sir. I'm trying to explain the term meat technology. Technology means use of knowledge, tools and systems for improvement of our surroundings. The main function of any technology is to develop the newer product and upgrade the older one, that is the science. Meat technology also serves the same purpose through the meat. We generally define meat as the edible animal tissues, and meat technology deals with the handling, processing, preservation, marketing of meat and meat products. Nowadays in India, an industry has been developed keeping the meat in the center of its interest. It has become very popular because of its direct impact on human health, utilization of livestock and human resources, and the employment generation. Thus, IGNOU has developed a diploma program in meat technology with the collaboration of Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. Like all other programs, this program is also having certain objectives. First objective is to educate people for meat handling and meat processing on scientific lines in order to improve hygienic quality. Why it is important? Because we know that there are so many slaughterhouses in our country which are not authorized. That means these are not following the specification of meat food products order. There are only 3,600 authorized slaughterhouses and 171 licensed manufacturer under the MFPO. And most of these slaughterhouses are substandard and outdated today. And we have the idea that these slaughterhouses almost operate as service abattoir, where butcher comes, slaughter the animal for a fee, and I am sorry to say that most of these butchers are having very little knowledge about the personal hygiene. Besides this, there are millions of roadside meat shops from where the public regularly take the meat for daily consumption. I hope most of us having the experience of roadside meat shop, where we often see that dressed animals are hanged from the iron hook in open air without any cover from the morning till night, and flies are sitting on them, vomiting there obviously, and dust and the pollutants from the air are contaminating the meats, uncovered meats. Butchers usually chop the meat on wooden slab which is not sterilized regularly. In chicken shop, we see that the butchers using the same scalding tank for all the birds without intermittent changing of the scalding butter, and hardly there is any arrangement for the antemortem or postmortem inspection of the birds or animals. In this way, meat are getting contaminated from the meat of the diseased animals. Sometimes these may cause very serious enteric diseases and may even threaten our life also, as we have seen in case of bird flu few months back. So it is very important to educate the people about the handling and processing of meat and meat products on the scientific line in order to improve the hygienic quality. Our second objective is to develop human resources for meat industry and associated activities. It will be clear from the picture of the present production, demand and export potential of meat products. India now presently producing 6.04 million metric ton of meat, and we know that ICMR, that is the Indian Council for Medical Research, has recommended 34 gram meat per day per head, and only 14 gram meat per day per head is available. So there is wide gap between the availability of the meat and the recommendation level of the ICMR. We also know that basic requirement of animal protein is almost 20 gram daily. Out of that, 10 gram comes from milk, 4 gram each from fish and meat, and 2 grams from egg. And for this, considering the non-vegetarian population of India, it is estimated that India needs 8.8 million metric ton meat per year against the present production of 6.04 million metric ton. So there is a wide gap between the production and the demand. So there is a great scope for Indian meat industry to flourish in near future. Then we are coming to the processing sector. Nowadays, an ever increasing demand for convenience meat products because of rapid urbanization, changing lifestyle of the people, increasing number of working women who mostly take care of their kitchen, the liberal food habit of the newer generation, increase in disposable income, all these lead to the production of convenience fast food meat products. Unfortunately, only 1% of the total meat is processed to meat products in India presently. So, India has a great scope for meat processing industry also. When you see the export data, export meat trade indicates that in the year 2002-2004, India earned rupees 18,069 crores from the export of buffalo meat, sheep meat, goat meat, poultry products, processed meats and animal casings. India is now exporting to more than 60 countries, and we hope that this number will increase day by day. So, for this purpose also, we need more and more people. We hope that in very near future, India will require for meat industry, meat processing industry, more and more people to keep pace with the ever increasing demand and supply of the meat and meat products. Besides this, there are associated industries which are secondary to the meat industry, like the tanning industry, soap industry, wool industry, which are derived from the animal byproducts. They will also require human resource for their industry purpose. Third point is to train the personnel for self-employment. This is very important. I want to share my experience with you in this regard. During my PhD research work, I needed some animal casing for the sausage preparation. For your information, animal casing is prepared from the animal intestine. For that purpose, I had to go to a slum in Calcutta, nearby a slaughterhouse. After entering the slum, I asked few people about the availability of the animal casing. A gentleman came to me and told me that, "Madam, come with me, I can give you the animal casing." I followed him through a very narrow and dark lane and reached his small house. I was just spellbound for few seconds. I saw that there were 5 to 6 people were working there, sitting on the floor. They were cleaning the animal casings. They were dumping the casing, using salts for preservation of the animal intestine. And the gentleman told me that a meat technologist has trained him for this purpose. And he collected that animal casing, fresh animal intestine from the local meat shops and the nearby slaughterhouse, and prepared the animal casing. He also showed me the card of Johnson & Johnson company, which is very renowned company in India. They take the animal casings from him for the preparation of catgut, which is an absorbable suture material usually used for the internal surgery. That day I experienced a great example of self-employment associated with the meat industry. I want to give one more example. We all know that in market a raw egg is available at the price of 1 rupee 50 paise or something like that, and a boiled egg is available in the ordinary roadside shop at the cost of rupees 2 and 50 paise or something like that. While a squared egg, which is nothing but this boiled egg, which is squared, separated into square, are available at the established restaurant at the cost of 6 to 7 rupees. What is the difference? Nothing has been added to the egg, only the idea and technology. This is also one kind of value addition. There are many people who do not like to take egg from the roadside shop. They will go for the restaurant because of the hygienic quality of the product, because of the technology behind it. So my dear friends, if you have such dream in your mind, and if you want to see your dream in reality, you need only training how to produce your product hygienically and scientifically. then you will also be able to earn your livelihood and help others to make their livelihood. And IGNOU is now ready to train you in this regard through the program of Diploma in Meat Technology. Our fourth objective is to train the personals who already engaged in the meat processing plant or slaughterhouses. Next, I am coming to the target group of this diploma program. The target group includes the unemployed youth, personnel working in slaughterhouses, processing plants. Thirdly, the small and medium entrepreneurs involved in processing of meat and meat products. Fourth one is poultry and meat processors in unorganized sector. And last is the NGO functionaries, trainers and farmers. What will be the eligibility criteria for the students? They must be senior secondary pass outs, that means 10+2 pass outs, maybe the 10 pass, but they have to enroll simultaneously for the BPP, that is the Bachelor Preparatory Program and Diploma Program simultaneously. The minimum age for admission to the BPP program is 18 years. And who have already completed the BPP from IGNOU or other wellness mode, they can also enroll for this program. Next, I am coming to the medium of instruction of this diploma program. For the first year, means first cycle, we are offering the program in English language only. For the next session, we'll try to offer this program in Hindi and other regional languages. Then duration of the program, minimum 1 year, maximum 3 years. That means a student will complete the course within 1 year. If he doesn't, then he will get a chance to complete the course within 3 years without any readmission. After that, he has to take readmission for each and every program. Then I am coming to the program structure of this diploma program. This diploma program consists of 8 courses, each worth 4 credits. That means total 32 credits. Each course has one practical and one theory component. First course is about the fundamentals of food and meat science. Second course is meat, animals and abattoir practices. Third course is about the fresh meat technology, and the fourth one is about the processed meat technology. Fifth course is about meat packaging and quality assurance. Sixth one is about the poultry products and technology. Sixth course will deal with the utilization of animal products. And the last, that means the 8th course, is about the marketing and entrepreneurship. And I would like to request Dr. Saluja to say something about the student support system and study centers and counseling sessions. So please.
Thank you, Dr. Meeta. I think Dr. Meeta has covered very well and particularly focused on the self-employment in this area. There is a lot of scope particularly for self-employment in the meat processing. Like she is given with the examples that boiling of eggs, particularly different range of chicken and I would say meat products are available, and it is a good that students should take this type of program. Now for the student sport activities, as far as the IGNOU format is aware, many of the students are aware that we have the self-learning material. We have prepared for all the 8 courses. The study material has been prepared. Then we will be preparing the audio video material also. A CD will be preparing for each course of 20 to 25 minutes, which will be sent to the study center, and all the students can watch this CD at the study centers. The other support which is provided in the student support services is counseling. We structure the theory counseling as well as practical counseling at the program study center. Now these program study centers are established at the places where the facilities for conducting the practicals and experts are available for taking the classes, and facilities are available for conducting the practicals are there. We will be giving you the list of the study centers which we have identified, are in processing of identifying as there. And in this counseling, both the content counseling and personal guidance are involved there. Then teleconferencing, like this type of teleconferencing, the first one which we are doing, we will be doing for all the courses periodically. Then through radio counseling also, will be all the doubts, the students who are having the doubts will be explaining the different courses, blocks and unit, and will be explaining to the through the Gyanvani also. So the student support services includes not only like the first, and always it is kept in mind that it will be given, the some study material will be given to us and we have to do ourselves. No, in open and distance learning, we provide the material at your home place, at your residence, so that you can scan the, review the study material, and when you come to the counseling, you can ask your queries and teachers will be there to explain you. Similarly, for the practical counseling, all the practicals will be explained to you, and you will get an opportunity to do the practicals with your own hands. And for some of the practicals and for some of the things, we provide the CDs also, audio video, where examples of the good meat processing plants or good techniques for the lab techniques are shown to you. And in teleconferencing also, we will be inviting the different experts in the meat science who will be sharing you the practical information on the subject. The study material is also structured in such a way that it is written in the very simple language, and it has the theory component also and the practical component also is there. And we divide the course into blocks, and then each block is divided into different units are there. And so that you can see your progress, there is a check your progress is also exercises given to the student, so you can intermittently you can check your own progress is there. Then in the counseling session, there will be around 20 theory counseling session and 80 practical counseling sessions will be organized. Each theory counseling session will be of 2.5 hours, and practical counseling session will be of around 4 hours, where around 2 to 3 practicals will be organized. Now the program schedule will be prepared by the program coordinator at the program study centers, and it will be dispatched to all the students. The academic counselors will help you in the theory counseling, practical counseling, and the personal problems. We have seen in the open and distance learning, the students, the time management is problem with the students, because you are already working there, or you are working at the home form level, or you are working in some places. So the counselor will help you with the time management also, that how to study the study material. The good example is that you should try to complete the one block in every week. You keep your target and complete the theory block, and when you go for the next the counseling, you could ask the questions to the counselor, you can seek your doubts or clarify your doubts are there. I was mentioning that these are the study centers which we have already activated at the RB College Agra, then the College of Veterinary Science at Aswal, then Kerala Agriculture University also, and these are the places where they have agreed in principle, particularly Rajiv Gandhi College of Veterinary and Animal Science, Pondicherry, West Bengal University of Animal and Fisheries Science, Kolkata, then GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, College of Veterinary Science, Rajasthan Agriculture University, Bikaner, ND University of Agriculture and Technology, Faizabad. Similarly, other where we have written and we are processing the proposals, National Research Center on Meat at Hyderabad, College of Veterinary Science, Bangalore, College of Veterinary Science, Bidar, then College of Veterinary Science, Hyderabad. These are the places where we are trying to establish the program study center. Similarly, at Nagpur also, College of Veterinary Science. At Chhattisgarh also, College of Veterinary Science, we are requesting them to establish the program study center. At College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Anand, and the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Veterinary College at Mathura. These are the colleges it is going on. At the Gujarat also, at Banaskantha, then Guru Angad Dev University, Ludhiana, then Ranchi College of Veterinary Science, similarly at Patna, Bihar Veterinary College. So all the veterinary college, at Guwahati also the veterinary colleges, these are the places where we are trying to establish the program study center, because these are the places where the facilities are available and the teachers are available. So they will be organizing the counseling, theory as well as practical counseling. Now how the examination will take place? Theory exam will be taking place in the month of December, and weightage will be 100% to the determined examination. Now weightage to theory and practical is 50-50%. The one paper is 100 marks. The theory paper will be also 50 marks, and practical paper will be also 50 marks will be there, weightage. The practical is again divided into two components, the guided components and unguided components is there. In guided components, we will be having 10 to 12 practicals where the teacher will be showing you the method and you will be doing it. But that will be, the weightage is given to them, so that the teacher will evaluate you that what is your aptitude for doing the things. How do you handle the equipment? How do you handle the instrument? It is there. So weightage to guided is 70%, because these are the vocational program and we want that skill development should be there. And there will be one unguided practical will be also there. For that the weightage will be 30% will be there. These things are mentioned in the program guide, and we will be sharing this information with the counselors and coordinators and the regional center officials. So they will be also explaining you in the detail. The program fees at present is 8,000 rupees. Registration fees is 100 rupees, and the students who are not the BPP, the fees will be 8,700 will be there. So this is in short about the meat technology program. To conclude, that we have seen that the level of processing in the meat industry is less. Dr. Meeta mentioned that only 1% is being processed. Similarly, if you see she also mentioned that unhygienic conditions are there at the processing level. The products production, particularly nutritional requirement, because animal proteins are known as the complete proteins. A good amount of protein should come from the animal proteins, and as compared to the world average standard, our country is having the animal protein consumption is very less. Taking into all the holistic approach, particularly employment potential, the export potential, particularly what she mentioned in the Middle East countries, a lot of meat and meat products could be exported. Similarly, byproducts utilization, for the example of casing, could be there. So looking into these aspects, this program has a lot of self-employment and scope is there, and it also creates an environment of improving the productivity and hygienic conditions at the thing. So this will transfer from the unorganized sector to the organized sector. It will add to the rural employment. So this is a type of one of the good programs under the Ministry of Food Processing Industry, which a rural youth should take and should be taught. We are finding some of the problems in establishing the program study centers. So we take this opportunity to request to the regional centers that they should try to establish the program study centers, so that we can give good information to the students and we can provide all the vocational skills to the students for which the program has been meant. We will welcome any question on the subject, or even you can make the correspondence to at School of Agriculture. We will be happy to reply you, and we wish you a good start to the program. Thank you very much.